Good evening. It's been a minute. Kind of took some more time off there, didn't I? I'm going to stream for about an hour this evening. I'll try to get back in the groove here. Try not to be a part-time streamer. Although I quite literally am a part-time streamer. Alright, I don't really know what I'm going to do this evening on stream for the next hour, but we're going to try to do something. Let's see. We were doing Tour of Go, weren't we? I think we got to the point where we were supposed to write like a Fibonacci. Yeah. So we basically need to fix this. And I think I know how to do this. Using closures. Alright. So what we need to do is we basically have to start at the first, right? Fibonacci sequence is basically you take the a Fibonacci sequence is basically, hold on, let me think about this. A Fibonacci sequence is basically the preceding numbers, right? 0 and 1. Then you add those together to get 1. And then 1 and 1 is 2, and so on and so forth. So it's always like the last two numbers make the next number, and it follows that pattern. So in order to solve this with closures, SD, Go is the best. I am learning about Go. I have not written much Go in my life, but I'm trying to learn more about it. Nate, you're out of here. Why don't you go ahead and get fucked, Nate? So you're gone. Pin. Hello, Pin. How are you? First time I've seen you here. SD. Oh, just Gemini? You mean ask Gemini to solve it? But most definitely that's a valid... It's definitely a valid use case for AI, but I figure if I'm trying to learn about Go, I should probably do this myself. Alright, so we'll do A is going to be 0, and we are going to do B is going to be 1. Now we're going to return a function, and that function is going to capture those variables we defined earlier in its closure. So then we'll say current is going to be A, and then we'll say we'll reassign. We'll basically reassign, right? So we'll do A is equal to B, and then B will be equal to A plus B, right? Yeah, I think so. I think, and then we return the current. So what's this do? Nope, that's off. What's up, anime? SD, use Firebase editor that has Gemini built in. Well, I appreciate the recommendation, SD, but like, I kind of feel like if you use AI, it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to learn the language. Watch out for the shorthand assignment operator because it's basically closed scope like this in JS. They didn't talk about that. Are you sure that's correct? I mean, I know you wouldn't steer me wrong, would you? Animan subbed. Well, I appreciate that, Animan. That's very nice of you to sub. That's the first time I've seen your name in my chat, so thanks for stopping by. The lonely sapling. I support your weight loss journey. Well, I appreciate that, man. One of these days, I need to drop a few pounds for sure. But right now, we're not working on weight loss journey. Right now, we're trying to figure out how to do Fibonacci with closures. Okay, so something about this is off. Because I'm basically doing the square right now, right? So it's like 0, 1, 2, 4, 8. I feel like I should be maybe doing this. Oh goodness, what did I just do? Okay, current is A, which is 0. But then I reassigned A here. So A becomes 1. B becomes 0 plus 1. And then I return current, which is still, current is still, yeah, current is still 0. See, yeah, it's called shadow variables because the shorthand is a new instance each time in a function or loop, which is okay here for what I'm doing here. That's okay because I'm capturing it in a closure. So I think I'm okay right here at the moment with what I'm doing, SD. Victor, oh, good to see you learning Go. Well, I appreciate that, Victor. I think Go looks interesting. We decided, or I decided, that I was going to try to do Advent of Code in Go this year, so that's why I'm trying to devote some time to learning it. Animan, you have not seen me before because I got hacked. This is new account. I've watched you before, though. Okay, very cool. Yeah, that's probably why. Sorry about you getting hacked, man. That really sucks. I'm sure that was no fun to clean up. Okay, I'm just gonna, since I can't debug in this, I'm gonna have to just print some stuff, because, let's see, A, let's print A, let's print B, and let's print current. So we have 1, 2, and then current is 0. This is where I need like a debugger, personally. Yeah, but A equals 0, and current equals A, and therefore current is returning 0. No, I mean current's not always returning 0. If you just look at the output of the formula, you can see current is being, like, I guess what I'm saying is current is returning a value that's being changed each iteration. It's just not being changed to the value we'd expect. So there's something with how I'm handling the updating of that value that's not correct at the moment. Hello, Arthur. I have not seen Lenny. Okay, so the first iteration we're right. The first iteration looks good. The second iteration goes bad because instead of 1 we have 2. And that's our problem. So why do we have 2 on the second iteration? Yeah, why do we have 2 on the second iteration? Because at this point, A should be 1. Oh, I guess we're right on the first 2 iterations. 0, 1, 1. Cosmic Cascade, are you fluent in Go or just starting? Yeah, just starting. Yeah, just starting to learn Go. I normally write TypeScript or C#, but for Advent of Code, I thought it'd be fun to try to learn Go and do Advent of Code this year in Go. So that's why I'm trying to allocate some time to it. Speedy Glove, I have no idea what you're talking about, but if you have $60,000 to spend freely, I will happily take some of your money. Maddox, oh hi, how have you been? I've been working night shift, so I kept missing your streams. Hey, what's up, Maddox? Yeah, I haven't been streaming that much the last 4 or 5 days. This is the first stream that I've done in a little while. Just kind of been preoccupied with life and work and whatnot. Paul, what is Go? Go is a programming language. It's a statically typed, compiled programming language. I think Google was the creator of it. Someone at Google or a team at Google. I could be wrong, but that's what I understand. Let's see, SD. That's really bad practice to use the short. Your SD is really on me. He really wants me to do something different with the shorthand operator. It's like using a bunch of this in JS. Well, I think the whole point of this is to learn closures. So I think it's to understand the fact that you can capture a local variable into the closure of another function, right? So you still have access to be able to mutate it from the function that you captured it in. Maddox, I just moved from Indiana to Kentucky. Life has been very busy. Yeah, man, moving sucks. So I do not envy you. I hope your move went smoothly though. I hope it wasn't too rough. SD Bell, Trend Live. Good evening. Nice to have you again. Well, hello, Trend Live. Good to see you in my chat. Appreciate you stopping by again. Water Elemental. Tell me, please. I have no idea what you want me to tell you. Bell Labs people made it while at Google. Well, very cool. Yeah. I mean, so far I don't have any knocks against the language. I don't know it very well, so I'm in the early stages. Oh, hey Russell, what's up, man? Have you been cranking npm modules out? Water Elemental. Well, are you? I don't know what you're talking about, Water Elemental. I do not know what you're talking about. Oh, I think I know what the... Yeah, my problem is I think I need to do this step before I assign A, don't I? Let's see what this does. I think I just had these out of order. Because when I did it the other way, if I assign B to A, then I'm actually adding B plus B equals B, right? Nope, that didn't make a difference. What if I do this all in one line? Does that make a difference? If I do A, B equals B, A plus B? Yeah, so there was something about the order of operations here. So what's different? I'm not sure why that has such a significant... This is me not understanding Go. Oh. Okay. So actually what I could do is I could do this, couldn't I? I could do, instead of A here, I could do current. I think that'll give me the same result. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have our Fibonacci sequence, right? Yeah, 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 1 was 34. That one stuck me way longer than it should have. Comic Cascade. I'm trying to learn Rust to add to CV, but I don't know how much time it's going to take me. Yeah, I started to learn Rust at the beginning of this year. I actually started trying to learn it by going through the Rust programming language book. And I need to go back to it. To me it felt very foreign, I guess. But I've not done a lot of languages that require like manual memory management. So that's probably why it felt pretty foreign. It felt not foreign, I guess isn't the right word. It added like more mental load to the process of writing code. So yeah, I started. I think but it looks like a very interesting language. I'm not sure how long it would take you to get proficient, but I think obviously being able to say Rust could be a plus depending on what jobs you want to do. Maddox turned my 1.5 hour commute into 5 minutes. That was without traffic. That's awesome, man. That is a win, dude. To move like that, that's wonderful. Russell, Vibe porting project 11 of 34. Very cool. Good for you, dude. Trend Live. How do you describe the anomaly of Go? I know it's pretty new technology. I know Python, but trying to understand how it's different from Python. So I don't know if Go is newer than Python. If I had to guess, they're probably pretty similar. Go release date. Go was publicly announced in 2009. Python release date. Python 2.0 was released on October 2000. So I guess Go is newer than Python. The big difference between Go and Python, in my opinion, is Go is statically typed and compiled, right? And Python is dynamically typed and interpreted. Those are kind of, when I think of, those are kind of the two big categories. Do you need help? Those are kind of the two big categories that I put programming languages into. Maddox, hey Water, rephrase your comment and condense it all into one message. That, yeah, I couldn't follow what Water Elemental was asking me. It's probably more of a me problem than a him problem. SD Go doesn't really change, so whatever you learn now will forever be useful. It has backwards compatibility, promise. It'll compile instantly no matter the code base size. Yeah, a lot of people have said lots of good things about Go, so no need to convince me, I think. I'm learning it, right? So I'm sold. I was gonna say Maddox, the commute thing. That's a big deal. So one of my first careers was as a personal trainer, and the first, or I guess the second personal training job I had, in my hometown was at a place called Powerhouse Gym. Since then, it's been renamed to 24 Hour something or other. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, 24. It's called 24 Elite, is what it's called. 24 Elite. But what I was gonna say is, when I was training here, we actually lived. Can I make this like narrower? Yeah. So this was the gym where I had to work. Right, it was right here. And then the apartments we lived at were like, where were they? Yeah, they were like right here. So this was the gym, and then our apartment was like right here. It was literally, I could have walked there in 5 minutes. The drive was like 30 seconds. It was great. When I had clients at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I could literally like, I could wake up at like 5:45 and be in the gym on time to train clients. So, yeah, congrats on the shorter commute, man. That makes a big difference in your quality of life. Trend live. Thanks, Steven. Of course, man. Yeah, I'm not an expert at Go by any means. I'm not an expert on Python by any means either, but that's typically like when people start talking about programming languages, those are usually the first two things I think about is like, is the type system dynamic or is it static? And then is it an interpreted language, right? Do you need some other program, right, to run it? Or is it compiled to where you can essentially get like a single file executable? Which, in my opinion, is one of the best reasons to learn something like C# or Go, right? There's something really cool about being able to write a utility or write a program and package it up into like a single file and just run that file. And you can essentially release something or distribute something without having a lot of overhead to it, which is kind of nice. All right, moving on from Fibonacci's. All right, so Go does not have classes. However, you can define methods on types. A method is a function with a special receiver argument. The receiver appears in its own argument list between the func keyword and the method name. In this example, the ABS method has a receiver of type vertex named V. So, excuse me. This is basically saying, because the function I declared oh, interesting. So like interesting. This is kind of this is a little confusing syntax, but so if I did this, if I did func ABS V vertex like that, vertex, and I'll just do the same implementation. And let's just call this 1, right? Interesting. So I wonder why people would do that. Let's see. ABS 1 and then V. Yeah, okay. So that's kind of interesting. Why would you prefer a function, or why would you prefer a method in Go when it isn't really object oriented in that way? I guess it's just to know that you can do it, right? You can define the type, and then you can define methods that work on that type. That's so confusing to me though. This the way of declaring that this method belongs to this type is odd to me. But I'm sure as I write more Go, I'll get used to it. SD with Go, you can embed assets and a database in the binary. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'd want to do that, but yeah, same thing. You can do the same thing in C#, which is really nice. Chimera, I love you. Well, Chimera, those are very strong feelings. I've never seen you in my chat before, but thanks for dropping a nice comment. V is then loaded already. SD, no constructor needed. Yeah, the constructor thing to me is the hang up people have with constructors is kind of silly to me, because like you still have to create an instance of a vertex. So like, who cares if you need a constructor or not, right? I don't know. A lot of people hate the new word. Like they really don't like the the new keyword. Joey Monster, how many languages do you know? I guess it depends on what you classify as a language, but I can tell you what I know. I know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, C#, Python, and now I'm trying to learn Go. So, if somebody today was to approach me and say, Steven, we want to hire you to do some work for us, I would be like, I would implement it in C# or TypeScript. I would pick one of those, or a combination of those. Leo and Henry, can you tell me a college football team? What do you mean, Leo and Henry? I mean, if you get me started talking about football, this whole stream is gonna derail. Like, there's my family. there's like my family, my health, and then probably like football in terms of like loves of my life. College, I'm not a big college football guy. If you force me to pick a college football team, I'd probably pick Mizzou, just because they're the team closest to where I grew up and lived. But I don't follow college football very religiously. I follow NFL football very religiously, and there my team is the LA Rams, which they were the St. Louis Rams, but maybe one day they'll find their way back to St. Louis. SD, don't you miss static void main? Yeah, SD, no, there's no more static void main in C#. You can do top level statements. Since .NET 6, I think we're on .NET 9 now. So for like 3 or 4 versions of .NET now, you do not need static void main. Actually, I don't know how many of you are even follow like the C# world. They just introduced, or they're getting ready to release in .NET 10. They're getting ready to release standalone or support for file-based programs, meaning you can literally define like index.cs, and then you can just run it. You can say .NET run index.cs. Like very similar to like what Node developers are used to with, index.js or index.ts. So C#, if you haven't looked up C# in the last like 5 years, you probably should give it a try. If you like TypeScript, you'll love C#. Yamle, hiya. Hello, Yamle. How are you? Good to see you again. Joey Monster, you should try Lua. It's simple. A lot of people have told me to try Lua. Now, I at the beginning of this year, I set up a go to invim config. I set up a NeoVim configuration, and that was all in Lua. So I know enough Lua to sort of stumble my way through the dark and get NeoVim configured. But a lot of people have told me that Lua is what Roblox uses as its scripting language. So everyone seems to think it's pretty simple and straightforward to learn. Leo and Henry, thank you. I was scrolling through lives forever. You were scrolling through lives forever asking people to tell you a college football team? That's like the most random thing ever. For scripting, Lua is pretty good. Yeah, I really like writing little scripts in JavaScript or TypeScript. That's kind of my favorite. If I can, like, assuming I can install Node on the machine that's going to be executing the script, I'll just write it in JavaScript or TypeScript. If I can't install stuff, then I'll just use whatever's native to the OS. So if I'm in Windows, I can just use PowerShell, or if I'm in Linux world, I can use Bash. Yanlei, doing well. How's the Golang learning process? This is the first time I've streamed in like 3 or 4 days, so it's going well. I just haven't done very much of it. Yanlei was learning low-level function like read and epoll stuff, but doing it in Golang. Nice. Well, good for you, Yanlei. I hope you're having fun learning. IndieF Fun, sup? Hello, IndieF Fun. Good to see you again. Or I guess I should just say Indie Fun, huh? IndieF Fun is like duplicative. Piyush, which is better to develop games, Lua or Unity? Can you explain pros and cons? I can't. I don't do any game development at all. I do want to give Godot a try. So if I did do some sort of like game development, it would probably be with something that supports C#, just because I know C# fairly well, and I don't know Lua, so I can't really tell you. I have a colleague I work with who builds games in his free time, and he uses Unity. Albeit he is a .NET dev, but he says wonderful things about working in Unity. So that's about all I can tell you, Piyush. I wish I had more to share there. Maybe I will come back in another 6 months or something, and maybe I'll have more of an opinion to share with you. Remember, a method is just a function with a receiver argument. Oh, yeah, LOL. They wrote exactly what I wrote. You can declare a method on non-struct types too. This reminds me a lot of this approach to methods reminds me a lot of static or extension methods in C#. That's what this reminds me of. Hey Yanlei, do you follow the Primogen or TJ DeVries? Because I'm pretty sure Lovable or Love, you said Love Engine. I'm pretty sure that's what they used to build their tower defense game, didn't they? And it looked like a really nice framework. I watched those. They had like a marathon stream a couple months ago or a month ago, where I think they used that love engine, and it was fun to watch. You can declare methods with pointer receivers. Okay, this is now we're getting wild. We're getting a little wild now. This means the receiver type has the literal syntax for type T. Also, T itself can be a pointer, cannot be a pointer, such as pointer int. Oh, I see. So if you declare a pointer receiver, you're basically just allowing yourself to have it's basically like if you're using a pointer receiver, now you have a reference to an instance, and so you can actually set or mutate the fields, right? Or the fields on that type or that instance of that type. That doesn't seem like it's, they said it's more common, but this doesn't seem very functional programming-esque. Yeah, so if I just change this to this, oh, so nothing breaks, huh? It just doesn't. I don't know if I like that. Do you guys like that? Like the compiler doesn't tell you that you're doing something wrong here or doing something you can't do? Like this has no effect now. Now that I don't have a pointer. I feel like the compiler should be able to tell you that you shouldn't be able to reassign to this field since this is not a pointer. Meng Pin, that's a good start right there. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Meng. Eamon, how can someone get better at problem solving? Is it better for a beginner to focus on clean code, Python/Java? Eamon, I think it sounds contrite, but the way you get better at solving problems is you solve problems. And it doesn't even have to necessarily be in the context of coding, right? You just be good at solving problems, good at applying like the scientific method and working through a problem in a systematic way. Obviously, if you want to get good at solving problems with code, then you should practice solving problems with code, but it's just reps. You got to put in the reps. As far as like focusing on clean code, obviously, like clean code, right, is a very like charged phrase in programming circles because there literally is a book called Clean Code, and it seems to be a very polarizing book. Either people love it or people hate it. I think the right response to clean code is probably somewhere in the middle, where you understand what clean code is, you understand where the ideas from that book came from, and maybe the problems they help solve, but that you don't look at clean code as like, I have a hammer and everything's a nail, right? So I don't know if I was a beginner, I would focus so much on clean code. I would focus on the readability and the maintainability of my code. That's probably what I'd focus on as a beginner. Like, get good at solving problems, then get good at trying to organize your code in such a way that you can reason about it. And that's not always going to look like maybe what Uncle Bob would say it should look like, you know? So maybe it'd be helpful, Min, if you went and grabbed that book by Uncle Bob and read it, and then try to think about when it makes sense to use it, when it makes sense not to use it. You might have a better mental model to work with. Yanlei, you use pointer when you actually want to modify the value directly without making a clone. You could also use it for reading. Yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, I guess my point being here that it's interesting that the point of having a pointer receiver, right, is that you can mutate the instance. But it seems like then the compiler should tell you, or like at least warn you, like this is unnecessary, or this is not going to work, right? What you're doing here, that's not going to work. Assuming this wasn't a pointer receiver, right? But maybe there's a reason it doesn't warn you. Shiv, hi Steven. Hello Shiv, how are you? What's up, Abu? How are you, Abu? How are you doing? Good to see you again. Yanlei, that's the challenge, and I like it. Yanlei, it acts like you make a clone. So how do I access the clone? Are you saying that scale returns another value? Is that what you're saying? Like if I do this? Yeah, no, it doesn't return a clone. Or maybe you're referring to something different. You are changing the type of V when you remove the pointer. Yeah. Yes, right? Yes, but the whole point of having the pointer is so that you have a reference to the actual instance so that you can mutate it, right? Yanlei, well, just pour your idea and fixes in spaghetti form first. Once you finish getting it work properly, then start cleaning things up and reorganize. At least that's how I gain my coding soul back. Yeah, I think that's Yanlei. I think that's a very good approach. Get things working, then get it working well, and then think about maybe organizing it. Yanlei, when you just do v vertex, you made a clone of the actual vertex itself. Well, yeah, but how do you can't access that clone, I guess is what, like, I don't know if you're actually making a clone of the vertex, right? Because, like, you can't, like, this right here has no effect. Like, I don't even know what happens to these assignments. Like, you can't get access to this anywhere. I guess if you return V, can you get access to it? Like, if I do that? Yeah. Oh. I guess I have to return a vertex, don't I? I'd have to do like this. Yeah, so I guess you could do this, right? So yeah, I guess you're right, Yanlei. It's making a clone, but you can't get access to that clone unless you actually return it out of the function, right? Yeah, return. Okay, Yanlei said, okay, return it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm following you now, Yanlei. Yes. So to me, this would be like if you were trying to be like a functional programmer, this is the way you would do it. You know, you'd prioritize immutability. Abu, I'm fine. It's been a while. I'm not in touch. How everything's going? Yeah, it has been a minute. I took like 3 or 4 days off. Just there's been a lot going on, life-wise and work-wise, and I've just kind of been enjoying my evenings programming in silence, coding in silence. But I'm trying to get back to it this week a little bit, be more consistent again. Yeah, I'm like actually useful if you want to pass the struct with different value while still keeping the original as is. Well, yeah, for sure. That's the whole, right? That's that whole idea of immutability. That way the original can't be, ideally, right? You would try to program or write your program in such a way where you're not mutating things. Although what's funny about it is like if you see a lot of like highly performant code, a lot of like highly performant code seems very mutation heavy, right? Because then you're not performing a bunch of allocations, um, which is kind of funny because like you look at like highly performant code in C# and all of a sudden mutability's everywhere. And then thanks, of course. And then yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Amit, hello Amit, how are you? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by the stream. Let's see. Again, try removing the star or the pointer from line 16. Can you see why the behavior changes? What else did you need to change for the example to compile? Okay, so we remove this. Yeah, so the and sign in Go is how you grab a pointer, right? So I have to remove this. So if I return V out of here, what happens? Oh, I gotta declare return. That's gonna get me a half dozen times before I remember it. Oh, yep, and I got to initialize and assign. Yeah, so it's the same idea here. So we're working with the same thing here, right? If I want to be able to change the vertex's fields, right? I need an actual reference to an instance of the vertex, which is what I'm doing when I say I want a pointer. In which case, then these will be the same thing. Cannot use V, a variable. Oh yeah, so I need to actually grab a reference or a pointer to that variable. Variable of type. Hold on. What did I screw up here? Oh, does this need to go? Here? Oh, that's okay. Why is this angry? Oh. Oh, but I could do this, huh? Cannot use a variable of type as vertex value in argument to absolute. Okay. Yeah. So if I change if I change the return type to pointer, absolute doesn't want a pointer, it wants the type. Okay. So then I just need to remove this and just go back to the way it was. No value. No value used as value? What? Oh, this doesn't return anything anymore. And then we're back to where we started. Okay. Yeah, it's just a matter of thinking about if you have a pointer to something or if you have the actual thing, huh? Yanlei. Yeah. Pointer vertex not equal vertex. Yeah. Yanlei is keeping me honest and correcting me. I appreciate you, Yanlei. And Meat, glad to see you again. Yeah, good to see you again too, Meat. Meng says most use case of pointer in Golang is use pointer to mutate your internal member of struct. Use value as a mutable return value. In your case, the x and y should be pointer as well. Or if you want a separate concern, you should create vertex as a container data and vertex calculator as util to calculate scale. Hey, what's up, Voldy? How are you? Good to see you, man. King No Killton says, with this sacred treasure, I summon divine general something. I have no idea what you're talking about, bro. That is so random. Gordon reacts, what are you making? I'm making nothing this evening, Gordon. I just hopped on for about an hour to try to learn a little bit of Go and get back on the streaming horse, so to speak. Hey, what's up, Arkin? How are you? Good to see you again. Arkin, I don't know which one hit my productivity more. My country hit by war or Steven not streaming. That's some dark humor, Arkin. So are you in Iran? Arkin, is that where you live? And I do apologize for not being on the YouTubes lately. Just been preoccupied the last few days. But things are kind of getting back to normal, so. I hope, Arkin, if you are in Iran, I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're staying safe. That's a scary situation. Voldy, for me, it's definitely Steven not streaming. Okay, so I want you guys all to blame your productivity on me. Okay, I will happily be your productivity scapegoat. Yeah, I'll be back this week though. I'll be here in the evenings. I am probably gonna hop though, guys. I only plan to do about an hour this evening. And my coffee I just emptied my coffee, so we are through. Hey Shiv, what's up, man? How are you? Hope you're doing well. I know my stream tonight was not much earth shattering from a code perspective. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I'll be around. If you're not my Discord and you want to hang out outside of streams, just join my Discord. Otherwise, I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow night. Arkin, man, do I hate it when my Stack Overflow question gets dislike bombed then closed because someone didn't second paragraph of my question. Oh man, Arkin, don't even get me started on Stack Overflow. I think Stack Overflow is like Stack Overflow has been incredibly helpful to me, right? It's like I usually will do a Google search and then I end up on Stack Overflow. But like I would never actually ask a question on Stack Overflow. That community there, they take their questions and their answers, in my opinion, way too seriously. It's not very welcoming. So I totally feel your pain there. Voldy, we are at a breaking point. Coffee finished. Yes, right? I mean, basically, you start here. The stream starts here. And then whenever we get to the bottom, stream over, right? So, or make another coffee, but it's 10 o'clock, so it's time for bed. Arkin, yes, I'm based in Bahrain. Arkin's got some humor this evening. I'm glad you see the humor in it, man. But I also hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Stack Overflow is how I envision AI tech support to be at corporations. Yeah, it's just not my community. I know there's obviously a wealth of knowledge over there and lots of people have spent lots of time helping people, but it's just not my community, you know. Gordon, I'm finally understand what you guys are talking about. Oh yeah, now we're just hating on Stack Overflow at this point. Artie, how did you get so good at code? Well, Artie, I appreciate you asking that and making the assumption that I am good at code. I don't know if I would say I'm good at code. I know how to code, right? But I'm sure there's 1,000,001 people who are better at it than I am. You know, how I got good at it though was just a lot of time, or how I should say how I got to where I am with it is just a lot of time. So I've probably spent at least 4 hours a day on average for the last 4.5 years at this point, writing some sort of code. It's just time, I guess, you know, just like with any other skill. Boldy, all my homies hate Stack Overflow. We all use ChatGPT. Yeah, I mean, I still find a lot of helpful information on Stack Overflow through like Google searches, but a lot of the times I also find there are some things that I know I should go Google search for, and there are some things I know I can ask AI to do. And some things I get better results from doing Google searches and sifting through Stack Overflow posts, and some things I get better results from AI. Arkin, SO is seriously useful, especially when you read like 10 plus answers to grasp some obscure shit fully, but boy, asking questions there is like torture. Yes, I'm with you, Arkin. I've never asked a question on Stack Overflow, but yes, I've had lots of obscure answers come from reading old Stack Overflow posts. Miss Annie Babes, why do you look so vibes? I'm not sure I know exactly what that means, but I hope it's a good thing. Gordon reacts, what coding languages do you know? So mostly web things that you can do with web development. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, C#, and now obviously I'm trying to figure out how to learn Go. It is. Okay, well that's good. I'm glad. The content creator. Yo, Steve, what's going on? Nothing much, man. I'm actually getting ready to wrap up the stream and head to bed for the evening. You look chill. Well, I try to be chill. I try to be a chill person. All right, this is the final sip. Gordon reacts. I only know C++. Yeah, I don't know any C++. Never really written any C++ before myself. All right, guys. I'm gonna jump. Discord, if you want to hang out, obviously. If you don't want to hang out in Discord, that's fine. I'll see you in another stream. I should be back live again around this time tomorrow, like 8. My kids go to bed at like 8 p.m. Central Standard, so I try to usually hop on after they go to sleep. So if you're around, I'll be here. Otherwise, hope you guys have a great rest of your whatever's left of your Monday, and I hope you have an even better Tuesday. See you, Voldy. The content creator. Got my ASUS and finally installed VS22. Runs so smoothly. Well, that's awesome, dude. I'm really glad for you. I hope you build some sick projects, and I hope you share them with us because we'd love to see what you're building. Or I know I would love to see what you're building. So that's awesome, man. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of your evening. Bye.